Victory Monday, Dolphins fans. How are we doing? It is Ben Morgan of the Fins Up Network back in the win column. How about that? Feels good. I know those playoff hopes, aspirations remain bleak, but it always feels good to have that victory on Sunday, have a little bit of victory Monday. So that's what we're going to be doing today, discussing everything we saw from that 29-17 victory over the San Francisco 49ers. Before I jump into my thoughts, my top takeaways, got to hear from you. Any thoughts that you had, any takeaways you have from that, your game ball winner? I'm going to get to mine at the very end of the video. Who's your game ball winner? Go ahead and drop that in the comments. If you haven't gotten subscribed yet, make sure you are doing that as well. But Dolphins fans, in my opinion, there's one spot to start today, and that is a resurgence of a run game that been gone for a month and a half, damn near 2 months now. It was back finally on Sunday against the 49ers. We finished with 30 carries, 166 yards. That's 5.5 yards per carry. We haven't seen that in quite some time. De'Von Achane goes for 120 on 17 carries and a touchdown, 50-yard touchdown to close it out. Raheem Mostert goes 8 for 31. Then we get 3 runs combined from Jeff Wilson and Alec Ingold. So, yeah, a 50-yard touchdown run to completely end the game, put it on ice. That skews things, right? I get that. But even if you take that run away, we still went for over 100 yards on the ground and 4 yards per carry. And that includes Tua going 2 carries minus 1 yards, as the stats will say. But tell you what, you see it right there. Isaiah Wynn returns. Did you see the block that he had on that run? Like we said, a 50-yard run skews things, but at the end of the day, it still happened. The block that he had on that Achane touchdown, we finally saw him break off a long touchdown. And I feel confident saying that a big reason why the run game was as successful as it was yesterday was because of Isaiah Wynn. And I will say that it goes beyond just that one run today as well. We finally found success on early downs. Early downs, first and second down runs. Achane was ripping off 7, 8 yards a pop. Yeah, we did have a couple that got hit at the line of scrimmage, but I feel like more often than not, we were getting 5+ on these first down runs, which sets things up very nicely for some short yardage situations on your second and third downs. Really going to open up the offense. So while I'll say our offense wasn't still crazy dynamic, I'm going to jump into that here later in the video. We at least saw the rejuvenated run game with Isaiah Wynn starting at right guard yesterday. And my hope is that he takes over 100% of the starting right guard reps instead of splitting the time, which we saw on Sunday with Liam Eichenberg. It appeared, I didn't keep complete track of it, but it was basically Isaiah Wynn, and then Liam Eichenberg would get a shot based on the drives. I don't know if that was consistent throughout, but I am hoping that Sunday against the Cleveland Browns, let's give the entire job to Isaiah Wynn. I feel like he deserved it right there. I want to talk a little bit about the defense as well, though, before we jump into Tua and that passing offense, which I sort of alluded to right there. Holding the San Francisco 49ers to 17 points is great. Sacking Brock Purdy 3 times was great. Holding them just to 81 rushing yards was great as well. Although I will say that the 49ers are essentially out of running backs at this point in time. So we did a lot of good stuff. And I'm going to come back to some more of the good stuff here in a bit. But a couple of quick areas of concern. Our safety play has been less than ideal. And that, it. I'm putting it very nicely right there. I'm to the point where I don't even care. I don't even mind if we let Javon Holland walk this offseason. Nothing summarizes the safety play, Poyer's play, Holland's play, more than the Deebo Samuel touchdown, where he broke tackles by both of those guys in order to get into the end zone. Now, I'm going to give a little bit of a break for what it's worth on that play. In my opinion, Deebo Samuel is one of the hardest players to corral, to tackle with the ball in his hands. However, it goes beyond that. They both missed the tackles. He scores on the play. It's a game-changing play. Go back to earlier in the game. Holland whiffed also on a play by Deebo Samuel, where it looked like he was dead to rights. Right around the line of scrimmage where he caught it. Instead, he whiffs. Deebo takes it for I believe it was 10 and a first down. So, yeah, some issues right there. But then other issues, covering the tight ends. And once again, I get it. George Kittle is one of the best tight ends in the league. And yeah, the 49ers are down quite a few playmakers. So the production, yeah, it has to go somewhere, right? But Kittle going for what? Eight catches, 106 yards. That's definitely an area of concern. And also, we're still trotting Duke Riley out for defensive snaps, huh? When injuries happen, we're still going to Duke Riley. Jordan Brooks leaves. The 49ers instantly go play action to a spot on the defense that I can't confirm is Duke Riley's responsibility, but looking at it and just watching the replays and everything, it definitely looked like it was Duke Riley's area to be covering. That results in a touchdown for the 49ers as well. So good thing for us. Jordan Brooks did come back in that game, but man, we're still trotting out Duke Riley. I don't get that. But like I said, let's go to some positives. Like I said, we held the team to 17 points. We should win a large percentage of those games. And I tell you what, how about the effort from Zach Sieler? What an unbelievable effort, not only for him to blow by his guy at the line of scrimmage, it was a little bit of a run fake as well. He went for the running back. He was going to have the running back. However, he realizes, you know what, Purdy pulled that ball. He still has the wherewithal, the ability to essentially lunge out, record that sack. I think you got to be careful in that situation. Being on the ground and lunging to the quarterback is more often not a penalty. I figured that was going to be very Dolphins of us to record a sack, but then have it get called back for that. It wasn't. It was a great play regardless by Zach Sieler. Now has the second most sacks of all interior defensive linemen in the entire NFL. 8.5 on the season, just a half sack behind Dexter Lawrence. And I believe he actually has more sacks than anyone in the entire league since he returned from that eye injury earlier in the season that he suffered in practice. But man, how about we stick defense here? How about the other guy I continue to rave about on this defense? Love that the team gets behind that celebration. That is unbelievable. And Chop Robinson looked the part again yesterday. The relentless motor that he had on that sack late in the game where he ended up missing Purdy, gets back up, Ogba's chasing him, but Chop's able to come around the back and gets that sack. The effort, the motor, that was relentless, but I don't even consider that his play of the game. The pass deflection that he had at the line of scrimmage when the Niners are down by the goal line. I believe it was George Kittle who, if you watch it back, he was pretty damn open in the end zone. That deflection of the pass at the line of scrimmage, absolute game-changing. San Francisco kicks a field goal instead. We still lead 13-10 instead of being down 13-14 in that situation. I really liked the pick of Chop Robinson back in April. I tell you what, now I'm to the point where I'm just giddy. I want to see these last two games of the season, but I'm already looking forward to next year and seeing what can Chop Robinson do in year two. If Jalen Phillips is healthy, what does that pairing look like? If Bradley Chubb can probably end up having a situation where we release him, maybe if the market's not strong for him, we can bring him back similar to what we did with Emmanuel Ogba. What does our pass rush look with those three guys? That would be incredible to watch. And how about another example here? How about the overall play just in general when Kader Kohou, as you see on the screen right there, picks off Brock Purdy, essentially seals the game. Calais Campbell just outright beats this guy, lays a perfect hit at the perfect time on Brock Purdy, hitting Brock Purdy in that situation and doesn't allow him to get enough behind the pass. Kader Kohou is right there for the interception. That kind of stuff that you see right there, that's textbook. That's textbook for icing games in the fourth quarter. You get your pass rush when the opportunities are there, you intercept the ball. So it might be a little too late to salvage this season, but I'm still impressed by that play. Loved seeing the defense be able to give the ball back to the offense at that point in time. And the other play that I think is going to fly under the radar in this game, that third down tackle by Jalen Ramsey. It's a third and four play with about 7 minutes left. We only have a 2-point lead at the time. I believe on the play that I'm singling out here, Jalen Ramsey is matched up in single coverage with George Kittle. He recognizes that Purdy is going to end up checking it down to Patrick Taylor. And then basically if he gives it to Taylor there, it's right by the line of scrimmage. It's going to have to be a catch and run to get the first down. Jalen Ramsey completely just comes off of Kittle, passes him off perfectly, is there immediately for the tackle after what? I think it was like a 1-yard game. So instead of the 49ers being able to pick up a first, extend the drive, in a situation where even a field goal at that point in time takes the lead, instead, Ramsey gets the tackle. We force a punt. Our offense goes out, gets a field goal instead to extend our lead to 5. So, no, it's not a highlight interception. It's not a highlight sack. It's probably something that's going to fly under the radar. In my opinion, though, a super clutch play. All right, I mentioned coming back to the offense. Little drink break. Tua goes 22 of 34, 215 yards, and a touchdown. So the numbers are fairly pedestrian, but there were a few missed opportunities in this game, which in my opinion could have really inflated those stats, really helped our overall point total. We still scored in the high 20s. We could have easily been over 35, damn near 40 in this game. I'm going to say one name, and I know what you're going to think. Tyreek. I'm not going to be as hard on him as what I've seen a lot of people on like social media and everything, but man, we see the top tier elite wide receivers in the league. We see him make those plays. And I would even say that Tyreek would agree with that. I would think that I didn't listen to much of what he said after it. I don't know if they asked him about it. I've got to think that Tyreek says that he should be able to make those plays. The first drop that he had was right on the money, which would have been a chain mover. I believe it was the first possession, if not the first or the second possession of the game. No real excuse for that one, in my opinion. I think he just kind of saw that safety coming, got maybe a little bit hesitant to fully commit to it. Regardless, that is a blatant drop that would have moved the chains. The incompletion in the end zone, where Tua was facing crazy pressure. If you haven't seen the all 22 angle of that, check that out. He's getting rushed and hit by two guys, lofts it up there perfectly to the back of the end zone. That ball was just ever so slightly tipped at the last second. That's why I didn't really consider this one a drop. Was a nice play by the defender to just get the fingernail on it, knock it away at the last second. But the ball was tipped just ever so slightly. I'm still not sure how Tyreek still didn't just catch it anyways. Regardless, that's probably the one that we see a lot of receivers be able to make that play. But of the drops, that's probably the one I'm least upset about. Like I said, I don't even consider that one a drop. But that last one, coming in the red zone on a fade to him, I'm sure as soon as you guys all saw the snap, the initial look from Tua on the fade, you probably just screamed a lot of bad words. But no, let's just sum it up nicely right there. As soon as we see that play, we all hate that play. That ball, though, simply went through his arms. Now, once again, in Tyreek's defense, I'm sure the defender being as close as he was probably hindered the vision a little bit. Man, you were just voted the top player in the entire NFL by your peers. That's one you've got to come down. You got to come down with that one. And it wasn't just Tyreek today either. River Craycraft drops a third down pass along the sideline. Ball was a little bit high, but it's a ball that NFL wide receivers make. They catch that ball. You move the chains on those plays. So just a few things right there that I highlighted that result in what? Touchdowns, first downs, extension of drives, maybe not settling for field goals, trying to get touchdowns. So yeah, our offense, it's just a matter of inches basically away from making this game a complete runaway. One last thing I do want to get off my chest here before jumping into the game ball was I want to give a little bit of props to Mike McDaniel for not calling a goal line fade on the touchdown that Tyreek did catch from Tua Tagovailoa. Now, I know that we just talked about him calling a fade later in the game, so that sort of nullifies it a little bit. But letting Tyreek Hill essentially just shake his man and then running out and have Tua with his perfect timing throw that is 100% a better option than throwing that goal line fade. I've been saying it for 2 years. The goal line fade that we threw to Tyreek Hill week 1, 2 years ago against the Chargers has come back to bite us. You have success one time, it doesn't mean it's perfect. Like, God, granted, we needed that to win that game, but it's just kind of hindered us so much now moving forward. But give me Tyreek shaking his guy and running a quick out and letting Tua put the ball right on a dot. Give me that play all the time instead of that goal line fade. Also, Tua's 100th touchdown on that as well. So props to him as well. Before the game ball, Jason Sanders. I often ignore special teams, probably more often than I should in my recap videos, but 5 field goals, 2 of them from 50 plus, another one from 48, another one from, I believe, 44. Jason Sanders has been through it the last couple of seasons with the Miami Dolphins. But I tell you what, last month got special teams player of the month. He comes back and misses his first extra point after that. You would think we can't have nice things. He's just going to jinx it. But man, when it comes to field goals, the guy has been clutch. It's almost to the point where we were of Jason Sanders in the past, where you see him trotting out there, you go ahead and put 3 points on the board. So props to him, a unique game ball from me here this week. But I honestly think that game plays out much differently if Jason Sanders even misses one or two, even those 50-yard kicks. This game plays out much differently. So like I said, let's hear your game ball as well in the comments. But you see it right there, Dolphins fans. Just 2 games left on this season. We are at the Browns, and then we are at the Jets. So I will be back previewing that Week 17 matchup here throughout this upcoming week. Like I said earlier, drop your thoughts, drop your comments, drop your game ball winners right there in the comments. Get subscribed if you have not done so already, as we will be previewing that game against the Browns here, and we'll know what by Sunday. We'll know if we're in playoff contention still or not because of one of the games that's going on Saturday. So we'll break all that stuff down here throughout the week. I will wrap it there for today, Dolphins fans. But until next time, fins up.